Going live. Jake's mother. Hey guys. Hey, what's up? Hey patrons. What's up? Today is October 28th, and it officially starts the off-season of Talking Yanks. Larry Rothschild is gone. Cashman got mad at Sweeney Murdy, and other shit happened. Let's talk some Yanks.
Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, steaming hot takes. Your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talking Yanks. Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake. Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Talking Yanks. It's been far too long. I know we were hurt. I know we were sad. I know we were down in the dumps. I know we needed a little bit of a breather. We were going to wait till the World Series was over and done and baseball was put to come back on Talking Yanks, but we could not do it. I couldn't do it, Jake. We needed to come back. So for everyone that this is your first episode, what a weird first episode to tune in, but we appreciate you. Thank you. My name's John Boy. I'm coming to you from New Jersey, and I got my co-host Jake dropping his mic stand, wearing an Air Hicks shirt, coming to you from Denver. Jake, how you doing?
Jimmy, simply put, it was time to talk Yanks.
It was.
So we decided to make the return. Yeah, stuff was happening. We kind of came off, and obviously everyone was sad, and everyone questioned things for different reasons. And now it's like, okay, it's kind of go time for everyone except two teams right now, and that'll be figured out in a matter of the next 2 days. So it's kind of go time. Start discussing some things that. And give a little Talking Yanks State of the Union type stuff, and then we'll go from there.
It's not coming through that mic, but I can still hear you. Just kind of muted. But yeah,
Cool.
We there's a lot of news, and I don't know about you, Jake Ronald. I looked at the voicemails, and we still have people that want to discuss the 2019 Yankees ALCS. And I'm a firm no. I will not be discussing or reliving that in any way. Once I move past something and decide to move forward, I'm forward. So we can talk about all the news that came out from the press conference. Obviously, we're going to talk about Rothschild and all that stuff. But, I'm not going to discuss game strategy or anything from the 2019 playoffs. If you need to get something off your chest, if you want anything to say, the floor is yours.
I don't think there's much to say. I don't think the story's changed too much. Yanks left a couple games out there. They didn't hit. If you want to get mad at whoever you want to get mad at, knock yourself out, but nothing's going to change. And it's kind of it's full steam ahead, and it still sucks. If your question is about whether something sucked or not, yes, because it seemed like a lot of things were in the Yankees' favor this year. It did not happen, so let's go get one for next year.
Yeah. Where do you want to start? I mean, a lot of news came out. The press conference after elimination, usually you get a lot of injury reports. Last year we got Didi needed Tommy John. This year we got Aaron Hicks needs Tommy John. Luke Voit had surgery, which hopefully quells everyone that was clamoring for Voit because they didn't understand he was injured, but it was quite obvious he was injured since his injury. So Voigt's going to get surgery. Tanaka got some bits cleaned out of his elbow. They said it didn't affect him in the this postseason at all, and he'll be fine for spring training. It's just kind of like dusting up his elbow a little bit. Got some.
When are we going to
cobwebs.
get your elbow cleaned out?
I mean, I'm dying. I got like
know
so
you
much
are.
junk in me. It's so ridiculous that Tanaka gets to just clean out my elbow. Like, my left knee is in pieces.
That's going to be that'll be like a Talking Yanks 2025 video. You and Johnny Lasagna go to get your elbows cleaned out together.
Yeah, like, how dirty's my elbow?
Yeah, what's
Oh,
going on?
I had some loose bones in his elbow. He got cleaned out. Like, I'm telling you, my left knee is nothing but loose bones. Remember in college when I fell off the pull-up bar and I cracked my kneecap? It's just chunks. It's gross.
Try to forget.
Get me a cleaning. It's bullshit. So anyway, Tanaka should be fine for spring training. Voit will be fine for spring training. Was there anyone else that I missed? Hicks is going to miss a lot of time.
Yeah, Hicksy was at 8 to 10 months is what they said at the presser.
Hicks hit a home run off Sale that won us a game. A lot of people are saying, like, well, why didn't he just get that done early so he could be good for
Verlander,
yeah. Why didn't he just get that done earlier and then be a month earlier next season? He was a guy for the LCS. Like, he was a component. So if they went to the World Series, Hicks would have been a guy. So I don't think you can really complain about that.
Yeah, he gave some of their best at bats. It's if you're questioning why Hicks was still out there, that's the definition of you're just still looking for things from 2019 to look into, and it's just like no, like he came back, he had arguably the biggest hit of the series, and he wanted to come back. Like the Yankees told him, you're good. Like go home. Maybe figure out your elbow or not get surgery or whatever. He went out of his way to try to come back. He did. He gave some good at-bats. And, yeah, I mean, if the Yankees and the rest of the team did a little bit more, we'd be talking about Aaron Hicks as a goddamn superhero.
Right? Damn. There's no one else we're missing, right? It was Voit, Hicks, Tanaka.
Yeah, I think that was it. And I mean, the story from the presser was the Sweeney Murdy question.
Sweeney Murdy. Yeah, it was kind of interesting. It was they had a little semantics off. Cashman was
Semantics off. Oh, dude, play the semantics off noise.
Semantics.
Off.
I don't have the audio for it. Should I find it? And it's really not fun to listen to. Basically, Cashman, Sweeney Murdy was like, you got Corbin, Cole, and Verlander, 3 pitchers you passed on in the World Series, and Cashman cut him off and said, I didn't pass on them. Cashman was already a little snippy at Sweeney because the question Sweeney asked right before that was Sweeney was trying to pry into which coaching personnel was going to come back or not come back, and Cashman was like, we haven't decided yet. And Sweeney was like, but do you think there will be changes? And he was like, I just told you we haven't decided yet. Like, obviously, I'm not going to tell you anything. So, and I was on Cash's side there, like, hey, man, I can't tell you anything. But then Sweeney says, you passed on them. And he's like, I didn't pass on them. And it's I don't even want to open up this can of worms because it's semantics off.
Yeah.
I understand Cashman's side of the semantics. I don't think you're opposite of me on this, so it's not going to be fun convo. But
I think I am.
You're opposite of me.
Yeah.
I know you are. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, that's the best kind of convo, man.
No, that sucks. But like, if you're giving him crap for passing on Verlander, like, it's their reason to not. Their reason to pass on Verlander was fine and valid at the time. So like,
and it still is. Verlander, there's no problem. Like they were staying under the cap, and Verlander showed all the signs of a pitcher in decline. Yeah. Like you can't actually bank on the Verlander thing. The Verlander thing, he's clean of.
Yeah, and then he brought up like Keuchel. He's like, we offered Keuchel what we were willing to be offered Keuchel. We don't know what other teams are offering him, so. That's not really passing, it's just getting beat.
Right, but I mean, you don't think Dallas Keuchel's agent went back to Cashman and said, hey, you guys are getting beat. Do you have one more offer? Because, I mean, I think they did.
According to Cashman, they didn't. So
I mean, but just think about that. You're an agent. That's your job.
yeah. Yeah, no, if your agent doesn't do that, that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
But-
exactly. And that's where it becomes the semantics off. Because, yes, they made an offer for Cole. They made an offer for Keuchel. And, they made an offer for Corbin. None of them were accepted. And, I think it's just, you're living with blinders on if you don't think Patrick Corbin's agent went back and said, hey, you got to up the offer. And Cashman said no. And that was the only thing I was disappointed in was Cashman was like, hey, we have a process. Like, we had a certain amount we wanted to offer these guys. And that's where the semantics come in. Everyone was saying the same thing. I mean, at a certain point, the Yankees knew they didn't want to offer over $100 million for Patrick Corbin. Mm-hmm. So at that point, in my head, yes, technically you have decided to pass, although you made an offer. So it's like it becomes a semantics off, and I mean, at the end of the day, nobody's going to win for it. But I don't know, when you offered prospects for Garrett Cole and your offer got declined, you then decided not to offer more, and that's fine.
I was getting into this with people, with Mets fans, because I said, the Mets didn't get Girardi, who was the first manager they contacted. They contacted Girardi before they fired Brody.
Right.
I mean, not Brody. Before they fired Mickey. I mean, I know that. And I tweeted out, they don't get the guy. Their first guy they were looking into, he goes to Philly. And they're like, well, if they wanted him, they would have got him. And it's like, well, they did want him, but Philly wanted him more. So, that doesn't mean the Mets didn't want him.
Well, I think Girardi also kind of had his pick. He was kind of the sexiest.
He wanted the Mets.
Girardi did?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. He went to the Mets with the Philly offer. And they said, we can't beat that.
I hadn't heard that. Heyman didn't tweet that, so I didn't hear that.
Yeah. Well, Heyman's a snozzle fest.
Ooh.
So yeah, it's all semantics, but it's not a good look that Cashman got so snippy. Yeah, but also, I kind of like that Cashman got snippy.
Right.
It's a bad look and a good look because, dude, it's his first press conference since they lost. Cashman's upset too. He's got a little bit invested in the team too. He's going to be running a little higher on snippy emotions, just like you or I are, or anyone is. Everyone's tense besides the reporters because they don't really got skin in the game. So the fans are pissed off. Cashman's pissed off that we just lost. Now we have to sit here and talk about it. We took the week off because we didn't want to. Cashman has to go sit and then explain his quote-unquote failures. I don't mind that he's snippy. If he was emotionless, I would like that less.
Yeah, and you know what Cashman can't say? Cashman can't say, well, we win 2 if Adam Ottavino doesn't hang a slider. He doesn't say, hey, we win game 2 if we score one more run in the next 8 innings or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Brian Cashman can't say that. We can on the podcast. I just think, and again, it's taking things a step further, and you're going to have your opinion on it, and you can't really be swayed. But, I would have liked – Cashman basically said it, but he kind of was already in that snippy off with Sweeney. Snippy with Sweeney. That sounds like a podcast or getting your penis chopped off.
Yeah, it sounds a lot like a circumcision.
Yeah, it sounded like that, and I think we had to address that.
We had to address that snippy with Sweeney. Sounds
snippy with Sweeney.
Yeah.
But if Cashman just sat there and he was like, "Hey, we
snippy
my
weenie
process, and that the other thing that Brian Cashman can't say, which I think maybe this leads us into Larry Rothschild and some of our organizational changes, but let's be honest: if Justin Verlander or Garrett Cole came to the Yankees, they wouldn't be who they are right now. The Astros have a little bit of a special sauce with starting pitching that the Yankees haven't fully tapped into, and that's not a shot at the Yankees necessarily. The Astros are basically the only team in baseball that's done this.
Yeah, and that's a really good transition because the next You like that shit? They've been calling you Jakey Transitions.
I know. Oh, we got a story about that one day.
And when you put on those high heels, tucked it back, and threw on the wig.
No, I was talking about our buddy Ken when that naked picture leaked of him and his Snippy Sweeney looked pretty tiny, and he just told everyone, "Oh, I was in transition," and we said, "That's not a real thing.
No, that's true.
You just have a tiny peeper, bro."
All right. Shout out Ken.
Shout out to Ken. He's a confident guy anyway.
We blew the we blew the transition, dude.
We had a transition.
It was perfect. Yeah, so the Yankees, they've kind of are one of the best in baseball at taking a guy who's underperforming with the bat and making him good. Tauchman, Voit, Gio, you name them, right? They're not good at developing pitchers, and it's not a secret. And the Astros are really good at developing pitchers, really good. And the Yankees they didn't just fire Larry Rothschild. They fired every pitching coach in the organization besides one. It's a complete overhaul. They brought in a new director of pitching from who worked at Driveline, which is the new analytics age.
Right. And he's already been around.
Middle of last year, because the guy that they had went to Georgia Tech, but he would have superseded him anyway. But yeah, so Larry's gone, and every minor league pitcher and coach is gone as well, has been released, and they're just overhauling the entire thing. So it's a little exciting. Hopefully they do this in the same manner they did the analytics with the bats, and say, okay, we did phase 1. Now let's do phase 2 and get the pitching going. It might take a little bit to perfect it, but it's a good first step. When I found out it was a complete overhaul, I was more excited than... Well, I wasn't excited about Rothschild at all. I'm pretty indifferent to it. But Larry's gone. 9 years. It's pretty wild. A lot of fans are excited because everyone needs to search for a solution, and they've decided that he's the problem. And you don't want to get me upset, but I think I have to, because so many people are like, Severino was helped by Pedro, and Domingo was helped by blah, and CC was helped by Pettit. Go listen to our R2C2. Like, we don't know what happened behind closed doors. Like, no one knows what the pitching coach and the hitting coach do and the relationship they have and the work they put in. All we've been told is that Larry was incredibly hardworking. He liked to mix the two ways. Sometimes there was clear, like, Hap clearly didn't jive with what they were trying to do. Sometimes. Paxton clearly, like, didn't drive, but then they figured it out towards the end. And then people like Domingo Germán said that Larry lived in Tampa all winter, and Germán would go to the training facility with Rothschild. That was a story that came out. And same with Severino, and that Larry would like text them and call them all winter and work on things. So I don't know. I don't know anything. I think there's good and bad, and we'll never really know. But I liked, someone tweeted this, and I read it to you when I got the tweet because we were talking, and they said, I think Larry, because he had been a manager before, he had been with the team for so long, and just the way that it operated, that he was the holdover for Boone to kind of let Boone lean on him, as someone who has a lot of experience in the dugout. And Boone said that in his quote, like, I leaned on him a lot. And if you watched any game the last 2 years, it was, Josh Bard's the bench coach, but he was not the second in command. It was Larry. It was Boone and then Larry. They talked all game. They stood right next to each other. So I like that. Like, yeah, maybe that was, okay, Boone's got some miles under his feet, and let's revamp this whole thing and move on.
Yeah, and like you said, listen to R2C2. There's with Larry, you're gonna have your own opinion. If you want to look at, point at Sonny Gray and that'll piss you off, knock yourself out. If you want to ignore the younger guys or anyone who's done well, you're gonna ignore Larry. And either way, you're too high or too low on the spectrum, / we don't know. And what you do need to know is that Larry Rothschild is extremely well respected throughout baseball. I mean, he might be the Phillies pitching coach in a couple of days. And he's a dude that, and maybe some people do care about this, maybe some don't, but you see it in football a lot, you see it in baseball and sometimes basketball too, but kind of these assistant coaches that are baseball lifers, like Larry Rothschild was a really respected pitching coach. He never got the managerial opportunity, and the first one he got was the Rays when they were their inaugural season. And that's a pretty brutal gig looking back, 20 years now. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of his only chance at head coaching. And then he kind of becomes older, and who wants to hire the old Kurt Mudge and Larry Rothschild? So you're right. I mean, he was really well respected, and
Well, even how early they released him is a sign of respect, because Mickey Callaway got signed to be the pitching coach for the Angels. And I think they were like, "Oh shit, pitching coaches are getting jobs. We gotta if we're separating from Larry, let's get this over with quick so he can go get a job."
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, listen, anyone that has known the Yankees for any part of the last 10 years knows that CC Sabathia isn't going to sugarcoat anything, and he talks about Larry like he's a great dude. There's almost anyone that comes through, and Nate Eovaldi, like. There's a list.
Oh yeah, Eovaldi gave him a lot of credit.
Yeah, there's a list of guys. So I mean, if you really want to circle Larry and say he was the problem, knock yourself out. If that helps you sleep better at night.
But I will say this, Larry for sure, and the pitching, the whole, not just Larry, the whole pitching philosophy, everything was not doing what the Houston Astros are doing. And the Houston Astros are the exception, not the rule. But even the Twins, they hired a pitching coach that never had coached in the MLB before, but was into the analytics and could improve you and all that stuff. And the Mets, they have that 82-year-old pitching coach, but they have an assistant pitching coach who's a pitching strategist. And I think that's really just, he reads stats and tells you that stuff. So it's a new wave. And I think the Yankees are saying, we want to jump on this. We want to get in front of the wave. We're a little behind already. So it's not just Larry that's gone. It's the entire department and philosophy. Besides the AAA guy, Phelps or whatever his name is.
And what's really wild, and I mean, people are talking about him as a candidate for the actual pitching coach position.
What about Andy Pettit?
Yeah. No,
CC!
Give me anyone named Clemens. Yeah, that was pretty ridiculous hour or so on Twitter today, but...
Yankee fans just literally naming people that they know that have pitched. And about 20% of them were serious. Why doesn't CC do it?
Yeah, that was. I think I retweeted Sweeney today because he said, because and the part that sucks, is that Cone is a real kind of candidate. He basically wrote a book about how passionate he is about pitching. Jack Curry tweeted out right after the Larry announcement. So the David Cone thing is partially real.
Yeah, that one's real. David Cone's real.
But yeah, Sweeney said David Cone will be a candidate, and he's like, this would be CC Sabathia's least favorite job he could possibly take. But yeah,
I said it nicely. I said, if you think CC is a candidate for the coaching job, you don't have a functioning brain. So I sugarcoated a little more than Sweeney. He was pretty ruthless.
Arguably. I don't know. I think the thing that gets really interesting is with the Zach Britton quotes at the end of the year is, with this new philosophy, the Yankees have built a team built on bullpen. And I don't know, when you hear your own relievers almost poo-pooing that strategy come playoff time, and you hear about a whole revamp, you start wondering what it looks like. And I don't know, I just had a stomach drop thinking about some of the people on Twitter talking about what the new Yankees pitching is going to look like. And you're not going to know until you see it. So see you in April.
Do you like Coney, your full thoughts? You want it to be Coney? If they say it is Coney, dude, I just laugh because the whole movement is guys who work at Driveline, who are really entrenched in this shit. Coney likes the new analytics. He's very open to them. I don't know if he's coming at them. He's coming at them from an analyst. I don't think Coney for a couple of years has been looking at the minor league system and this and studying across the board. I love Coney. I would miss him in the broadcast booth, but he doesn't seem like the ideal candidate to me. It seems like it's some dude who is a pitching coach.
Yeah, I mean this is the conversation. It's kind of like what you said with the Mets and their old man pitching coach they brought in. David Cone gets it. David Cone would need almost his Driveline person to feed him some of the other information. What David Cone has is what the players would respect is his history as a pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that he is willing to accept this information and relate it to the players. So, yes, I think there's a world where David Cone is a great pitching coach. If David Cone were to come in and say, no, don't give me any of these Driveline guys, I got it. You got throw the four-seamer up and in. Soto does that shuffle at you. And David Cone's not that guy. We know enough about that. So
what if they do a tandem and David Cone is the bulldog mentality on the mound, player rep, have your back, loyal as fuck pitching coach, and then they bring in a nerd and he's actually it calls for the change up here.
Well, I think they already have that. I think that's the dirty secret of this all. The Driveline guy that's already in the Yankees front office, not that a lot of decisions are already made, but the game plans and how they want to go about things are. And I think, that main guy staying there, I think that's going to be a big factor. He's going to basically, from reading the tea leaves, it sounds like he's kind of going to get his pick of the person. So, I mean, it depends. Does he want someone like David Cone that's got the street cred, that believes in it? But, if push comes to shove, David Cone's probably going to lead on David Cone because he was out there doing it.
He shit his pants on the mound.
Sure. And, we've all been there. But, and you wonder what the Driveline guy, if he wants someone that's just in lockstep with him and is going to follow him every step of the way. That the Twins guy you mentioned was funny. Basically, he got hired straight from college because he could add 2 miles per hour to anyone's fastball. And they were like, hey, if you can do that, we've got an analytics team that can figure out the rest. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. No, I don't think Andy Pettitte is going to leave his kind of life of leisure, living on his ranch in Texas, checking in on the Yankees now and then, to go through a 250-day grind of being a pitching coach where you basically get no love. And I think that is kind of the funny part about Coney. Coney does have a little bit of that sicko side, something to prove that, you can make sense of it. And I think that's why, like you said, everyone kind of is wrapping their ideal around a familiar face and someone that's pitched great. And David Coney is that, plus being a real option.
Dude, Andy Pettitte, when people were saying that, seriously, cracked me up. Have they never listened to Andy Pettitte and what his life is like now and how he hates talking?
Yeah. Yeah. His couple yes appearances were hilarious. He was acting like he wasn't on camera, basically.
Yeah, I was I'm not into this. And then CeCe has straight up been asked, have you ever wanted to coach? Fuck no. And people are like, CeCe will do it. People are nuts, man. I hope it's someone we don't know. To be honest, or I'd be happy with Coney. I'd be upset to lose him from the booth. I think he'd be a great. I think basically his bulldoggedness will be the best part about him.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I mentioned it, but it's what everyone's kind of missed. It is a grind. David Cone has a pretty sweet life right now. He's a celebrity. He gets to broadcast some games. He's pretty well known. I think he did a couple national games. He's kind of like a rising star in the broadcasting world. David Cone would have to leave all that to work 16 hours a day for 3/4 of the year. And if you want that and you want to come in and be a great pitching coach, and again, that's what David Cone just wrote a book about how much he loves pitching. And he talks about someone like Mel Stottlemyre with such admiration. because there is like a teaching aspect, and it's like passing it around, and next generations remember you and what you taught them. So there's a world where it makes sense. There's also a world where Coney's like, no, man, I'm good.
Yeah, there's also a part of him.
Might not even offer it to him.
Yeah, they might. I mean, that's where I would think the Yankees are like, well, I'll interview with Coney, but like, it's not really the ideal candidate we're looking for. But there is a part of Coney, I think, that yearns to be back in the room with the guys. He was the player rep. He was in the tunnels. Like, he likes protecting his players. Remember last season or 2 seasons ago when they got stuck at the airport and Coney was like, yeah, the player rep came out of me pretty hard. And then we like asked Kay or Ruco about it, and they were like, oh, he said that? Yeah, Coney wasn't happy. Coney likes sticking up for the guys. So I think there is a part of the Cone that, likes being part of the team.
And that's where you and I were big Jack Curry fans, and Jack Curry isn't someone that puts something out there as like clickbait or anything like that. Like, Jack Curry's as legit as it gets. So when they announced Larry and Jack Curry had David Cone already out in a tweet, that tells me that there is a good chance Coney actually really wants it, which, hey, I think if he were to be there, we would get super excited about it.
Yeah. Oh, I like Cone a lot. And I'd be happy for him. If that's what he wants and he gets it, I'd be really happy for him.
Yeah.
And then he has to come on the show and talk to us about it.
Yeah.
And I got an inside source in the clubhouse.
Boom.
It's great things. So you think Didi's coming back?
Holy smokes.
We don't have to do this now.
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll have some episodes coming up on that. I think a team is still going to offer him, like we talked about the Yankees process. I think a team like the Cincinnati Reds or someone who's got a little coin might take a chance on Didi. If there's a world where Didi's not satisfied and he wants to come back for a 1 year, 15, and then try to get paid again after a full season, I would love that. And I mean, kind of a similar thing with Dellin, but these guys could get very real offers on the open market too. So I don't know. I mean, we can do full episodes on that kind of stuff, and we will be doing that coming up.
Yeah. Schedule moving forward is release on the podcast app will be every Tuesday morning and Friday morning. So if you would just listen normally, Tuesdays, Fridays. If you listen live, if you're a Patreon member, patreon.com/talkingyanks, every Monday evening, afternoon, and Thursday evening, afternoon. Correct? And of course, if there's breaking news, a trade happens, a signing happens, we will jump on the mics and do it as fast as we can. We appreciate you guys staying with us all off season. We hope you do, and we hope some people join. I know last off season we expected to flatline a little bit, and we actually kept growing every week last off season. So keep spreading the love, guys. We appreciate it. Keep telling people to come back. We'll be at winter meetings again this year. We're hoping to get some interviews. We got a lot of big announcements coming up. And voicemails. I don't know if we're going to have the Tuesday episode is this and the Friday episode's voicemails. I don't know what the actual ebb and flow of that is going to be. I did want to do 2019 superlatives.
Ooh. Hey, maybe Thursday. Yeah, we'll figure out something with the voicemails. I think when we get in a little more of a rhythm, maybe, Thursday has more voicemails or
I've got DJ winning most nonconformist.
Ooh.
Didn't even get the team haircut.
I don't know, man.
Didn't take the picture on the team plane.
He was letting Brett bang a little bit. You think Four Worms is going to be back next year?
No, it cannot be back. Can't be back. You got to do something new. We'll see what it is.
Yeah. It's the exciting part. And yeah, I know John just touched on it. If you're a baseball fan, our Talking Baseball has been doing really well. We're going to be doing a ton of stuff there. Talking Knicks, if you're a sick Knicks fan and want to listen to me blab about that, we're doing that. But yeah, talking Yanks last year, we were a little nervous going into the offseason. Like, are we going to be able to let this ride? Are we going to have to do like Derek Jeter's top 5 plays? And we never got to that point. There was always something to talk about in Yankee land. So yeah, stay along for the ride. And John, I know this would normally be something that it would be more Jakey speed, I think, but you're pretty high on the fact that like you think this offseason is going to get a little wild. You think they're going to really cash in a lot of these ancillary chips, if I will.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some trades. I think there's going to be some movement. I heard rumors and scuttlebutt from places that I don't fully trust or even half trust that they're going to go all the way in on Cole. I can't wrap my head around that as a possibility. Yeah. I've been pretty trained to think that that's not happening in the slightest. If you read a rumor that says Stanton is going to get traded and you believe it for a second, please cut your eyes with a box cutter because you don't deserve to read things anymore.
Sounds like a bet.
I don't know. What do you think? People keep saying it, but like the worst, most nothing sources, not even sources. And I don't even understand. I don't even understand it.
Keep dreaming, folks.
No, I think there will be some changes. I think Didi's not coming back, and I think 9 months ago you tell us that, and we're like, what? No way. And then people soured on him, and I think it reminds me of D-Rob last year when the Yankees planted that fake story about the voting shares. Just to get the public opinion kind of not high on D-Rob anymore. They didn't plant a story about Didi, but public opinion after Didi's like press conference and just kind of poor play and the infield being a little crowded and Gio and Glaber and DJ and I think they might take advantage of that and just do a qualifying offer and no, it won't upset the fan base as much as it would have last season. Does that make sense?
Well, that's going to be interesting because there's a world where Didi would accept the qualifying offer.
I don't think so, man. I think
you can make logic of that. And hey, I know this is something I don't think people would say, or even young Glaber would say. But what if Glaber Torres wants to be the shortstop of the New York Yankees? That becomes kind of a tough conversation.
I don't think he's in any position to alter. If he walks into the office and says, I want to be shortstop, I don't think he's in any position to alter a front office move. And I don't think he would say that because he likes Didi. He's a good kid.
Right, but think about what you're saying. Yeah, he's a good kid. What if he also wants to be the shortstop of the New York Yankees? So I don't know. We're gonna hear all sorts of different rumors and whirlwinds throughout the coming weeks. It's gonna be a crazy one. I hope there is something that shocks us, whether it's Cole, Strasburg, a trade out of left field. I don't know. And you'd like to think with the organizational changes that are happening to the pitching staff, that seems to be like step one. Because if you're starting to view a pitching staff completely differently, then that means all the pieces that are there wouldn't fit. So you'd like to think that a lot of changes are coming.
I think there will be a good amount. I was going to say something else, but now I'm blanking. Oh, you know what it was, Jake? That girl that showed her boobs at the World Series?
Yes.
She tweeted out a video of her own, and it's your face all over it.
Nice.
Yeah. You like that?
It's whatever.
You like that shit?
It's okay.
Okay.
How many people know it's my face?
I don't know. Some people on YouTube said, nice. People on Twitter do.
Yeah.
A quote tweeted, it said, Jake's ugly mug covering up them boobs.
No.
I did.
No.
I didn't say the boobs part. I just said, shout out to Talking Jake's ugly mug. And it's a picture of you holding a mug with your face on the mug. Oh, that's a great joke. I should make that tweet a little bit later.
How about that? Thanks, everyone.
It's like a 3-parter. The picture on the mug is you holding. It's a picture of you holding the mug on the mug. So then people think, oh, he wasn't talking about his face. He's actually talking about an ugly mug that he's holding. Why is the mug ugly? Oh, it's got a picture of his face on it. You get it, dude? It's like the Russian doll of ugly mug jokes. It's awesome. It's beautiful. We'll be back on Friday for the next episode. Thank you guys very much. Go check out whatever you want to check out.
5 stars. Ugly mug.
5 stars. Go Yanks. Tell them, Grams. Gulp. Endeth the recording. End the recording. End the recording. Okay, what's up, patrons?
Soup.
Oh, wow. Andrew Mendez with a lead. According to my sources, the Dodgers are trying to trade Kershaw to the Yankees for Glaber. Could be done as soon as Wednesday morning.
Yeah, sounds about right.
It does, because you can't even make trades on Wednesday morning. It's illegal. It's 5 days after the World Series, I believe. All right, chat, you got anything else you want to talk about before we head out? Sauces or sources?
It's a fair question. Let's give them something to talk about.
Are you guys going to do player grades like last offseason? Yeah. If you guys want them. I think last season I put up a fight, but we ended up doing it. But yeah, people like that stupid shit. So, I don't like doing that. But I guess we'll do them.
Yeah, we'll do something like it.
Kind of hard when, no one played a full season besides Glaber and DJ.
Yeah.
And then people wanted to do dump them or keep them. I don't like that either.
Yeah.
But I do like doing superlatives. But not like baseball superlatives. Just straight up out of a yearbook. Prettiest eyes. Best hair. Tanaka. Easy. Worst dressed. Clint.
Ooh, that's best dress, bro. Swag.
Yankees Maniac says, I like the idea of moving forward. Me too.
Yeah.
What are some other good? Best couple? Tanaka and Sevi.
I mean, you're just going to give every award to Tanaka, so it's kind of like...
Glaber and Gio can win best couple, but, maybe Brett and his bat.
I mean, if every... It sucks because of the postseason, but, Edwin and Glaber could have been a pretty good best couple.
Yeah, that could have been cool. What are some other superlatives? Most likely to succeed. Glaber? I'm giving it to Glaber.
Say LeMahieu.
Okay. Class clown. Canely. Oh, there's also life of the party, though.
Party.
Dude, this would be a fun episode.
Sure.
Okay, what about this one? Most forgettable. That's an easy... That pitcher who made one appearance and they released him, who had a weird last name that I never learned.
Lale?
No, the other guy.
There's another one, too, yeah.
It was the same day as Brady Lale.
Kendrys Morales.
He's so forgettable that people will remember him. He'll be the trivia question.
Right, but you'll want to remember to forget him. That's why I think he wins.
The honest most forgettable is Joe Mantiply.
Mantiply is good.
No one. Or Adonis Rosa.
Ooh, Adonis.
Oh, this was a good one. Tallest and shortest. Who the fuck had that in their high school yearbook? Like, you voted on that? Did you just measure them?
Yeah, that's
not a real one.
it's not really a superlative.
Okay, here's a good one. Beauty and brains.
Is that one award? Is that two awards? What is that?
It's, two people win it. One gets beauty, one gets brains.
Beauty and brains. I don't know. I'd have to think about these.
Okay. Yeah. Ooh, most likely to be on Catfish.
Is that a superlative?
High school done changed, man.
Yeah, I don't think those are real superlatives.
That's fun. Give it to just the dumbest loser.
It's pretty rude.
That one's easy, though. It's Edwin.
There's a chance. Voight. I don't know.
Listen to this one. Most involved.
Most involved. Mabin.
Yeah. Most likely to talk your ear off. Guardy. Oh, Talkman. It's easily Talkman. It's an easy. Okay. There's a lot. We could do this if we wanted to. I don't know if people would like it. I know I would. People would rather do grades from last year. I know I wouldn't.
Whatever your heart wants.
Tim has a good one. Best swimmer.
Ooh.
I actually have Hap winning this in a landslide.
Ooh, Hap's up there. I was going to say Didi. That's another, skill thing.
Breivik Valera needs an award. What, do they have a most ugly?
Yeah, gross.
Just gross.
Gross.
Not an award, just a label. That's mean, Jake. That's the meanest thing said on this show.
It's most gross.
Most gross. Mendez says, please do superlatives as a full episode. Superlatives over grades, easy. I think we should do it, man.
Whatever you want.
Okay. All right. We're out of here. See you guys on Thursday night. Peace and chicken grease.